Oh, did you see the Gayle King story, Maze?
No.
Gayle King is saying, hey, don't give every Me Too man the death sentence immediately.
Right, because she got to come up.
Hey, we got the World Cup. America did.
Okay, you saying, so I don't think every man is getting the death Me Too sentence. What is she saying, though? Who is she saying to protect? She want to bring Charlie Rose back, who I heard is got back at the...
King thinks Me Too needs due process.
It does. Problem is, there isn't due process. I mean, the problem is the process is rigged.
There is no process.
Well, in Illinois, the process is rigged.
It depends on what the crime is.
Right.
That's what the process is, and then they figure it out along the way.
I've decided that the process will be
$99.99. They have been serving the community for over 25 years and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call Pyramid now at 780.
No, this is awful.
Hold on a second. I like to do this every once in a while.
This was like terribly scratchy.
Let me check these. Nothing, huh?
Well, no, I don't know which one you have.
Hold on. I didn't change. I got
This one's terribly screwed up.
And which one do we got over here? Oh, sorry. Hold on a second. We'll get you going here. These are new. Oh, this is fucked up. Yeah. This is just one here. This, we need these guys over here. I just brought 2 new sets in here yesterday. Rather sharp. Okay, Charles, 1 second, okay? I just want to go wipe these off. This is a good clear, but they're a little greasy. Okay?
This one's still croaky.
wake up, everybody. Okay, y'all, we got 2 things going on today. I don't know how to stop the other one, so fix the other one. Because I think you got to link the devices. And I don't think I did that. I don't think I put an API code in. There's so much hatred, war, and poverty. Oh.
Hey, is this thing on?
Yeah.
They're the ones who suffer and who catch all the hell. But they don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all the builders, time to build a new man. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. Good morning, Chicago. Good morning, world. This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. Charles, how you feeling?
Wide Woke Wednesday, Maze.
It is Wide Woke on a Wednesday, y'all, and I am fired up and ready to go. We got an action-packed show for you. You know what? There's a $1 billion investment going down in Cook County, and I want to know where the Black Cut is. You know, we got this CPS sex scandal that continues. Seems like the IG is changing some stuff up. You know what? We got a full show. We're going to talk about all of that, but before we get started, for real, gotta say what's up to the WVON Morning Show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom? Is that the sound of kidnapped? And how's kidnapped? Yes. Is that the sound of... First of all, see, that sounds like the ransom, right? And it's like she hasn't brought that. She been talking about bringing that dog up forever, and she can. You don't want him to see the light of day. Oh Lord, can he catch? Okay, well, well then maybe he won't be taking the place of Fletcher.
He's trained, right? Fletcher was not trained.
Hey, can you train a cat?
No.
Right. See, the thing, what can you train a cat to do? Man, you can't train no cat. A cat be like, I'm doing what I want to do around here. See, that's the problem with cats. Okay, right. You ever seen when the lion in the cage finally be like, you know what? Hit me with that shocker again. Hey y'all, it is the WVON Morning Show. That is Annette Flournoy. She's got kidnapped somewhere that we can't see. But you know what? If we're gonna get this plane off the ground, you cannot do it without the musical conductor of the soul plane, Miss Sonia Escobar. Sonia, woo, take us off. Now in the background, y'all, Charles, you hear that song, man? Mm-hmm. You hear that boom? I love. You know when you hear that boom, and you somewhere and you hear that first boom, and you be like, ooh, but the theme of our lives, the soundtrack of our lives this week, today, car wash, right? Man, who sang car wash? Was that Rolls Royce too?
Rolls Royce.
Man, you know what? Rolls Royce. Now speaking of Rolls Royce, they were at the Taste of WVON last year. And guess what, y'all? The Taste of WVON this year, I think Davita Nunn was up in the thing saying, Dougie Fresh. That's why they was trying to hold out on me. And I'm still a little mad at you, Charles, for that whole... I was all excited. I was waiting to know who it was. And they were like, Charles not going to be here today. But then the drum roll. And introducing the Stylistics. I'm like, hey man, you recorded that? You ain't tell your man what was going on. I'm running around here.
You didn't ask, man.
I was like, they holding out on you, man. I was like, yeah, y'all, okay. And then I hear the voice, and it's like the official Charles Thomas voice. It's the stylist. Charles, I was trying to get Atlantic Star, man.
Oh, that would be good.
You know what?
That would be good.
Because they got a band, right?
Yeah.
They got a band. Well, I'm going to tell y'all what. The WVO is the Taste of WVON, July 21st, Lorraine Dixon Park. You do not want to miss it. Dougie Fresh, Stylistics. We even got Teresa Griffin Day. And y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, if you have not seen Teresa Griffin sing Purple Rain, first of all, if you ain't heard her, Teresa Griffin don't sing. You know what she do? She sang. She will be singing at the Taste of WVON. And she got and it's Teresa Griffin Day. Boy, we about to get the purple rain of purple rains. Gonna bring Prince back. Hey, it is the WVON Morning Show. Charles, CPS.
Back in the news, CPS, man, they can't, I guess they can't help themselves. I mean, what, the Inspector General right now is gonna get involved?
The Inspector General, so, you know what? I think that, you know what, I'm wondering when I saw this. So basically what happened is CPS has moving. CPS has moved the investigations of the sex scandals from the law department to the Inspector General. Now, that says to me, are they like kind of backing away from this thing? Like, you know what?
No, because the law department ultimately would have to defend any lawsuits that might arise from this. So I think that in one way, it's good because the law department can maintain its integrity, you know, in terms of defending the district. Whereas this guy, Nicholas
Schuler,
he's pretty good. He goes for it. He doesn't. I don't think I don't think he would soft pedal anything. At least that's not his reputation so far.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, but you know what it was making me think of? It was making me think like, you know how right now Madigan keeps picking all his winners? I mean, all his team? When they gave it to Nick Schuler, do you think Ron really wanted them to give it to the Inspector General who might crack it open? You know what? Let's talk about that because, Charles, I want to understand even this whole move from the law department. I really think we got to explain to people the move from the Inspector General to the law department because I don't like defending yourself against yourself. I think people need to understand what just happened there.
Well, if the law department comes up with, if the law department was doing the investigation, that would mean they would frame the cases.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would defend the cases. And I think I think this is really the best way to go.
I think so too. But is it the best way for Rom? That's what I'm wondering. Will they give him a body slam? Now, Charles, I'm gonna tell you also today, you know, this West Side thing, I still haven't seen very much coverage on these missing young ladies and the women dying on the West Side. But I heard yesterday there were 3 more bodies found on the South Side of Chicago. Now, I'm trying to verify that. But if that be the case, Charles, we got to start thinking about what's going on with these kids. I'm looking for the background. I'm not 100% sure.
I'd have to get the detail on the 3 additional bodies. Haven't heard that yet.
I'm working on the details. So that one of my little inside tips. I'm not confirming. It's not confirmed. Hey, it is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Oh, but Charles, in that instance, we are going to be talking to a woman from Dream Chasers, to discuss how women get trafficked, how they even get into these situations where they may be a victim of this assault. She went into the game at an early age. She got trafficked into the game and was put on the stroll very early in the game, and can give us some insights on maybe some of the things we need to be looking for.
Yeah, and that's not to say that any of these women were basically involved in any illegal activity. I don't know, quite frankly. I mean, the circumstances of their disappearances are somewhat vague in terms of what exactly happened and what they were doing with their lives prior to their disappearances.
I think one of the key things we want to get from her is what are the signs of the players that are preying on people that you can make yourselves aware of. Look, it's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. We'll be back after traffic and the weather. Good morning, y'all. How's everybody feeling today? Hope we are having a great day. Antonio, I got to figure out the stream thing because I don't know exactly how I got 2 going. Oh, I'm on a notification. Right. I assume we were sitting in this one waiting to go live, pop up. Right, but I don't know, like, how do you connect the video camera? So that's what I got to figure out. I think I could have gone live from my computer, which would change it. I'd have to put it up here, but that may be the case, and we can test it out tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Hey, y'all, checking out the new Facebook live action. All right, good. We got our thing. Good morning, Keith Price. What up, Ian J. Leverson? What up, Teresa Robinson Thompson? What up, Sandra Williams? What up, Kent Thompson? What up, Sonia Escobar? What up, Everett Myrick? Shout out to the Tuesday night crew. What up, Erica Swain, for real? What up, David Bryan? What up, Cuz? What up, George Pearson? How you feeling? What up, Antonio Quasi Amoa? What's up, Felicia Gaywood? Hope to see all y'all in Bolingbrook this Saturday. Sharon Lyles, what's going on? What up, Wilson Coleman? What up, Rick Good? Kimberly Patton, Mike Brown, and Dr. Darlene Kennard. What up, Charmaine Henry? Hey, shit, we still got to talk. What up, John Rembert? How about those White Sox? What up, Rod Crowder? What up, James Williams? What's up, Burning Spells? How y'all feeling? Man, it's gonna be a good day. Hey, did y'all see the story about Shonda Kramer in the, well, actually, yesterday I retweeted it. Hey, y'all, check me out on Twitter. I'm starting to get a little live on Twitter. If you are not, can you follow me on Twitter? It's at MazJack, MazJac on Twitter. Let me see where I'm going next. Hope everybody's having a great day. $1 billion investment going down on the west side. What's the cut? Hey y'all, shout out to Cheryl Burton. Airbnb to pay for debt for domestic abuse. Oh, you think that's just a switcheroonie? A switcheroo? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Take a moment to share the broadcast. What up, Leah Charrier? What up, Melvin D. Griffin? Alonzo Eccles? What y'all got cracking? What are y'all doing for Father's Day? I think next year for Father's Day, I'm going to create the ultimate Father's Day man cave. Right? Where, look, all y'all mamas and kids got to do is pay the $75 for your father's ticket, and you drop him off, and he have his own day, and you don't got to be bothered. What y'all got coming up this weekend? Are you coming to Bolingbrook to the... We're back. Down to Brooklyn. Shookin. Bronx the boogie down. Back up. Knocking niggas out. Knocking niggas out. I'm breaking them up. Get ground too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge. Bolingbrook Juneteenth. That's what's here. 40's a beer. You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. Hey, that is the soundtrack of our lives. Man, do you remember Don't Get Too Close to the Ledge? Juice.
You asking me?
Yeah, man. You don't remember?
that.
You don't remember Bishop and Tupac? You don't remember when Tupac?
I heard Tupac. I know Tupac.
You ain't know about Juice, man.
No.
Let me tell you about that. You get too close to the edge. This is where Omar Epps broke into the game. Tupac broke into the game. I remember when the soundtracks were bigger than the movies. Hey, y'all. This is the soundtrack of our lives. That is Juice by Eric B. and Rakim. Look, it's the Talk of Chicago. Charles, did you see your mayor is at it again? He got another one for us. He decided to pop off an Airbnb tax.
Man. I don't know that if they really get the message. At some point, he just has to understand that people pay these taxes, and people don't have the money to pay the taxes. And the Airbnb people who are trying to make a little extra money doing Airbnb, if you raise taxes, then that's going to affect their business.
And see, but I think that the way he looks at it is for out of towners. And so
Go ahead.
Well, he looks at it like it's the out of town.
That was advertised at $179 a week.
Okay. By
the time we saw the advertisement,
right.
Weekly rate on the car, $179. But by the time the taxi does it, because they think they're getting the out-of-town people.
See, man.
The bottom line is we all end up paying one way or the other.
That sounds like that Trump tariff tax thing going on, how they flip it around on you, right? So Charles, but here's my thing. Do you think it's a stunt? Because he said, I'm going to use that to pay for domestic violence.
What does Airbnb have to do with domestic violence?
Well, I think that, here's what I see, and maybe I'm crazy. I think the mayor thinks that the best way to ignore what's going on in CPS and ignore the Me Too is to say he's protecting domestic violence. So go throw a tax on a company that's not based in Chicago and then say, see, I'm fighting for women, but then fighting for domestic abuse victims. And I think it's all like this trickery to kind of diffuse. He's hoping that story diffuses the sex scandals.
Well, that could be. But I also think that he thinks the way somebody worth $20 million. And it doesn't, what's another couple of dollars here and there? It doesn't mean anything to him because he's worth about $20 million that he did round up and make that money.
That dude, man, yep.
All
in like, I did it in like 9. Hey man, I want the white boy playing. How you get $20 million in like 9 months? Like you get $20 million.
You work in the White House and have connections with Bill Daley, who was the Commerce Secretary at the time. And you work that deal. You see what I'm saying? This is what they did, man.
See how they do? See how they did that? And then let me tell you. Then once they financed him, then he was rich forever. So now he ain't got to listen to y'all no kind of way because he don't need y'all Negroes' money. No, man. Charles, you know what I was just thinking? No matter whether they win or lose, they win. I was thinking about the business industry that has been created by even the scandals, right? Like, even the scandals make money for somebody, right? Like, so we're going to talk about this when we talk about this CPS Inspector General, because even though they got the Inspector General and he need a new budget and he got to get more money, they still hired the white lady from the law firm who's going to get her $250,000 off of this, and the black baby still, and we still don't know what happened. Charles, I'm telling you, it's maddening in Chicago because they get you coming and going. All right, man, let's see where we want to go. Hey, man, the Push Convention is coming to town.
Yeah, anybody of note who's going to be speaking there this year?
Bill Cartwright.
Bill Cartwright, former Bulls center.
Yeah, man, the elbows.
Yeah, man, he got the ball early in the game. They him down low in the post.
He knocked out a couple teeth.
Knocked a couple teeth out, and then Mike and Scott take over. Oh, man, that was beautiful.
Hey, man, remember those days, man? I'm telling you, basketball just ain't the same. Hey, man, I was watching a highlight reel showing my son, because, my son and me, we had this LeBron debate all the time. And I was like, so we pulled up a Bad Boys tape, and we pulled the Bulls versus the Bears. I said, now, do you think either Steph Curry or LeBron James, either one of them teams was winning? He was like, was going to go to the cup with any of them? Nah.
LeBron could.
LeBron.
6'9", 60.
Yeah, but
to do this.
he'd need a whole new mentality,
But
man.
Steph Curry, he'd be on the ground. Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant, no way.
They done broke Kevin Durant out. Hey, y'all, this is the WVON Morning Show. Okay, Charles, check this out. You know how we've been talking all this smack about the Obama library, and what they said was 120 million. What much is that? The Obama library, 120, 30 something million? Something?
No, it's 500.
500?
500.
Check this out, bro. Did you know on the west side of Chicago, they just broke ground on what will be a $1 billion project?
The old hospital, the old Cook County Hospital, they're gonna redo. Well, you know, they throw numbers around. They say that they only have about 100 some million right now, and they're gonna redo the inside.
But by the time,
Gutted or whatever.
yeah, but they're saying by the time all those phases are done, it will be $1 billion project. Charles,
But how long is that gonna take, really? Do you think they're gonna be able to do that in a one fell swoop?
no, I think that'll be a 10-year, 15-year project. But I think at the end of 10 years, I think there will be $1 billion made.
But it's a project. It's a private project, right? Totally private, just like the Obama presidential center.
Exactly, which is why they get to kind of butt us out. But $1 billion investment going on the west side of Chicago. Hey, you know what I want to know? Where's the black money? Who gets the black? Look, I know you got a thought on it. So why don't you hold it, and let's get it when we come back. Hey, it's the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Charles Thomas is the WVON Morning Show. We'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather. All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast. How's everybody rocking? What up, Rob Young? What up, Henry Hartsfield, Hotep? What up, Leah Charrier? Yeah, that's crazy. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Who is rocking with us? Have you shared? Let me say who are the sharers today. Good morning, Alicia Benford. What up, Salim Muwakil? What up, Melvin D. Griffin? What up, Vernon Spells? What up? Is that Marion Clyde Douglas, my cousin? What up, cuz? Hey, man, I'm going to see you at the family reunion, cuzzo. Make sure we'll see you in Cincinnati. Thank you. What up, Wilson Coleman? What up, Alvin E. Norton? What up, Kent Thompson? What up, George Pearson? What up, Craig Nash? Blue Fire on the Go Mob side. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see I'm repping my blue and white with the but today. You know, I forgot to say congratulations to Cheryl Burton. I thought she was the anchor. They be playing people, man. They be having us sent off. All right, who's rocking with us today? All right, let's do it here. What up, Robert Cowan? What up, Craig Nash? What up, Reese Moe? What up, Sean Howard? What up, Henry Hartsfeld? What up, Rob Young, Leah Charrier, Howard Trout, Andre Smith? Dre, I will have that for you today. I'm almost finished. Dag nabbit. What up, Charmaine Henry? What up, Elenia Moore, Principal Moore? We got to get you in the building. What up, Nanette Jones? What up, Keith Price? What up, Alonzo Eccles? What up, Vern? What up, John? Stop saying that craziness. What up, Ship? Ship, we got to talk. Hey, look, who else got summer camps and activities for the kids? I need some more stuff to do. What up, Rod Crowder? I forgot who told me. What up? Hold on. All right. What up? Oh, hold on. Let me finish. What up, James? Kent Thompson, Keith Price, Ian J. Leverson, Teresa Robinson Thompson, Sandra Williams, Sonia Escobezy. What up, Twin? What up, Erica Swain Farrell? What up, Cuz? What up, Carlton Brown? What up, Cousin David? Most positive man I know. What up, Quasi Amoa? Dennis Evans, the writer, the comedic writer of the... Man, have I missed? Why have I not seen Brother Patah? And am I not seeing Tiger Lily? What happened, man? Did they get banned or something? What up, Antonio? Wilson Coleman, Sonia, Kimberly Patton, Mike Brizown. Hey, Mike, check this out, man. Brother can't be on 20 every day. Some days I just, I did 20 yesterday. So it ain't always got to be a problem. Some days it just be like, man, I'm just tired. You dig? Hey, Reverend Bass, you watching the show? Somebody told me Reverend Bass be watching the show on big screen. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I wanna say what's up to the Reverend James Bass. Can I tell y'all he had the biggest birthday party ever? There was people everywhere for Reverend Bass. And then he looked out in the crowd, he was so proud. And it said, you know what it said? He said, bless you, bless you, bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Then it said, you know what? God gonna bless you real good. Reverend Bass. Shout out to Reverend James Bass watching on the big screen. How many of y'all check us out on the big screen? I missed Tiger Lily and Patah. Reese Mo, as you say, what you call him, bruh MAGA? Our number one Trump supporter, where is he? How y'all doing?
Hey, Charles.
Huh?
So the last one we went
Pardon?
the last one we went for the last one we went for juice. You know, the one with Ice Cube. Just a connection, I'm thinking, kind of funny.
So y'all know.
Right? Maybe you can make a little joke out of that.
So you know.
The only station where you get this and that in the morning.
Yeah.
Ice Cube and juice.
So you know what? I've decided that I'm going to rise. You are tuned into the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. It's not really Friday. It's actually Wednesday, but it is WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas, soundtrack of your life. Charles, social media question of the day, man. Where does the black money go in Chicago? It's a $1 billion investment on the west side of Chicago with the Cook County Hospital. And, it's $1 billion over some years. Let's say 10, which means $100 million a year. I want to know where the black money goes. But before I do, somebody got something to say that I was thinking myself. Let's go to the phone lines. Jill, you're on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. What's going on, sis?
Good morning. I wanted to know, why does Charles pay for the insurance on the rental cars? It's already covered with your major credit card.
Yeah,
I got played.
I was thinking this.
No, seriously, I got played a couple of ways, and because I haven't always owned a car. You know what I mean? So I would have to get the insurance. But at any rate, I do own a car now, and I did it, and I got played. There's no doubt. I also got upgraded because when I got there, I found out that this car that my wife had rented was like a scooter.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to upgrade.
You sound like that.
On top of that, I realized that I was taking the car to a hotel. So I could have rented the car at the hotel and just eliminated a lot of charges there. So I got played. I was a classic Vic. You know what I'm saying?
You learned a very expensive lesson.
I learned a very expensive lesson. I'm going to tell you that, and I hopefully people listening won't make the same stupid mistake that I made.
Hey, you know what though, Charles? I'm gonna tell you. When you said you got the insurance, I was like, oh no, dog, they got you, cause the insurance half the time costs more than the car. Right? It's like $25 a day. And they make you feel all guilty. They be like, are you sure? If you're running into a car, then all you can think of is, I'm going to have a car crash, and you sign the paper. When you said it turned...
You know what? Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
I had that happen.
Ooh.
I had it happen. I had a wreck one time. This was many years ago, but I had a wreck in a rent-a-car, and I didn't own a car. And I got nailed.
Oh! You know what? It's fun. Well, it's not funny that you say that, but you know what? I was just thinking, right? I had a loaner car from the dealership and had a car accident in the loaner car in the dealership. And I was like, you know what? These are the days you just be like, thank you for and I had the nows. And the cop was like, you ain't no damn insurance. Man, I can see why you would do it. That's like lifetime fear. Like, I think that's one of those things that's in the back of your head for a long time. Like, how much did it hit you for? How much did that first one hit you for? Because I'm sure.
The first one was several $100.
Oh.
It wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
The car was definitely damaged when I brought it back.
Man, one time I damaged the car and I had to get it painted before I turned it back in. Because I was like, hey man, you go over to Palos. They got a whole little network over there, boy. They'll paint your whole car, turn it in. I drove it back. They was like, none the best. Hey, it's the WVON Morning Show. We're a little distracted. Social media question of the day. Charles, yesterday, Cook County broke ground on the $1 billion redevelopment project of the old Cook County Hospital. We always talk about who will participate. Right? So we'd be like, man, it's cranes. Where's the black people with the hard hats and everything? But when I was thinking about the $1 billion, they was talking about the profit, right? Like after everything was built, after they paid all the workers. And I said, Charles, who black is getting a part of that $1 billion? And I want to know, Charles, because that seems like, again, that's right in the middle of the west side of Chicago. Somebody need to get rich.
But that's a private development, right? It's going to be a private development by private developers. Well, if you look downtown and you see the private projects that are underway, you don't have too many black people involved in too much of anything in those projects. And I remember when Chris Kennedy came here. Remember?
Right.
The candidate?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a developer.
Yep.
Did Wolf Point 1, Wolf Point 2, whatever it is. He said, we don't have to have we're not under any obligation to hire black people or black contractors or subcontractors. He said that.
But
right?
what about like putting black people in the deal? So when you do a project like that, See, because I'm with you on the jobs and contracts, but now I'm going to take the helicopter up just a little bit because I'm wondering who are the black people that are in the deal,
Well,
right? To be billion, like if it's $1 billion, you don't say with all these black legislators and all the people that approve this, hey man, we want to see some black millionaires made out of that.
Wasn't the president of the county board cutting the ribbon out there? So clearly she has some.
I mean, she the big cheese. It's the county hospital.
Right. And the county used to own the building. So
I'm saying, why you don't sell the building to the brother or something for like $10?
Why don't you make a condition of those who bought the building, hey, when we develop this building, this property, you're gonna have to do this, this, this. You can do that.
Right.
They can do anything they wanna do, but they haven't done that. And you know, there was the Cook County Health Hospital situation, what they call that?
Cook County Health and Hospitals.
Right.
System.
We report not long ago that there was less than 1%,
Like
0% of anybody involved in contracting there? I mean, this is the kind of thing that happens all the time, and nothing seems to change, and it just gets frustrating after a while, that we have the power. We have more than our share of power in Cook County, in terms of the number of county commissioners own the presidency, 4 of the countywide elected offices, but still, we're not getting that piece.
See, like, I feel like right now, let me tell you what I feel like they're going to distract us on. Right? They're going to say, ooh, we got you. Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be some jobs. And it's going to be some, it's going to be some people. Because I saw some black people up there. Right? And so I got a feeling that somebody, somewhere, because I'm going to tell you, I got a sneaking suspicion that they know that we're going to ask questions like this. So then they say, let me find some black people. I'm curious to know, who are the black people that are getting the money? Charles, when this happens in Chicago, where does the money for the black people go? Like, because somebody is getting the cut.
It doesn't go to black people. That, if you talk about recent history, does not go to black people. Because we don't have any. I mean, who's getting it? Because it's not.
WVON, give us a call, 773-591-1690. The Cook County just broke ground on $1 billion redevelopment project for the old Cook County Hospital. Who black will participate in the project? And I'm not talking about the jobs. I'm talking about who is in the deal. Where does the black money go? Who's managing the black cut? Give us a call, 773-591-1690.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Join Father Michael Flager and the Faith.
Inspector General Nick will be with us at 7:05 for 10 minutes.
Cool. Oh, now he fancy. He fancy. He only got 10 minutes for us now. That's fine. We call after. He fancy now. Hey, Dennis Evans, thank you for the camps. But man, I can't go all the way to Northern Illinois University. All right, so I just got a text that told me that the partners in the deal are Larry Huggins and Joe Williams. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm getting research for y'all to get some answers right now. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all come join us on Saturday at the Bolingbrook Juneteenth. Yeah, man, we gonna get a big football classic game. Take a moment, share the broadcast. All right, y'all ready? Let's get it rocking. What up, Carl Murray? So my question is, if these people are, so the question becomes, if these people are the main partners in the project, what's their track record of participation? How many black, so what will they commit to hiring black, right? So I think you gotta have the money to get in the deal. But oftentimes the land can be leveraged to be put you in the deal. So like, say for instance, Preckwinkle could sell them the project, sell them the old library for $1. And then they could sell the project, to sell the development to the white guys for $50 million. Meteor Man! Before there was T'Challa, before there was Luke Cage, there was Meteor Man. Robert Townsend's Meteor Man, soundtrack of our lives. That is the theme from Meteor Man. I'm the host of the WVON Morning Show, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. And Charles, I'm asking, there's a $1 billion project going down on the west side. The redevelopment of the Cook County Hospital.
Well,
$1 billion. Where's our cut?
Well, sometimes, they, in deal like this, the front brothers show up.
Who? The who?
A lot of the guys that do, the front kind of contract, they don't really, as you described to me one time, they don't really even own a plunger, but they're gonna be contractors on a deal like this, and then they get a little this, and then they pass it on, get a little piece, and they pass it on to, back to the man.
Oh.
So they have those guys that get involved in some of this stuff. I mean, that's one way that we get a little bit, but we don't get anywhere near what we think
we should be getting. My sincere hope out of this project, Charles, is that somebody black is somebody responsible to the black community benefits from this project, right? It is my sincere hope that when they show us the numbers and they come out and they say to us, hey, this is the black participation, not the minority, but the black, because I'm going to tell you they're going to come with it. I hope that they're not showing me material costs. Remember how they told us how, like, it'd be like the black dude got $50 million, but it's really like he got $1 million because he's really paying for all the materials. So I just hope that because I got texts and somebody told me who the partners are. And I know who are the black people who getting the money, right? And it's already tough enough for me walking around this town, right?
Especially out the side door.
And you come out the side door and you don't know who out there. And so look, I'm not going to say the name right now, the names, but I'm just going to say for real, y'all. It seems like black folks in Chicago are doing worse off, but they always, you know what? Where's the black money? Let's go to Travis. Travis, it's your man Maze Jackson, Charles Thomas. Social media question of the day: $1 billion project. Where is the black money? Where's our cut? Who gets the black money in the deal? Travis? Travis, did we lose you? All right, we're going to go to Ziff. Ziff, you want to talk Chicago?
Good morning, Maze and Charles. There was a bigger picture there, and you have to step back to see it. But you have to see who Tony Kreckwinkle is dealing with on the west side. This is a west side project. See, they can't go on the west side and do what they want because somebody will check them. But let me tell you the picture that both of y'all is missing. Watch Walter Burnett through this whole project. Walter had on glasses. Tony was on the other side. The battle is not over the $1 billion. It's over Jesse White's seat. Walter was promised it. Tony got her own person she gonna want to put in that seat, and guess who the boss lady is? So you got to watch Eddie Reed, Paul and Mark on the west side, Munir Muhammad, and Larry Huggins. I want to hear what y'all got to say. Oh, instructional construction. Industrial construction is what we need to start teaching. Industrial construction, so we'll know how to work on projects like this too. I want to hear what y'all got to say.
Thanks, Ziff. I don't think the Burnett conspiracy is there. I know Alderman Burnett is very involved because there's a portion of that project that touches his ward, but I don't think that the Jesse White conspiracy is there.
I'm not going to get involved with any of the names that he mentioned.
Right, man? I want look.
It's the proximity of the parking lot.
Hey, man, look. Don't be stopped. No, look, all right, look.
At WVON.
The way our parking lot has set up is the way. Look, y'all. So here's the thing. Here's the thing to everybody out here, right? To the brothers who are participating and been participating. It's a whole new generation of black folks out here who are not eating, who are not participating, right? And as you see all this stuff happening on the streets, and you take the bag, you bear part of the responsibility. So it ain't just the white boys that we need to be asking questions, right? Because I'm gonna tell you what the white boys gonna say. We gave the cut to them.
Right, because they have willing participants in the scam.
And so, so Charles, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, right? I'm gonna say this ain't gonna be the same time like the last time the county got rebuilt. Remember the last time it got rebuilt and the money got split between two companies and Walsh Construction became Walsh Construction, and I don't know what the other one became, but it ain't Walsh Construction. Because I don't see, you ever drive down the highway in any state now and you see a W on these trucks and these contractors? That started right here in Illinois. Multi-billion dollar construction company. Where is it for the blacks? Israel, you got 30 seconds to give it to me. Hey, and before we do that, can I take a moment? Did you all know I want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of the father of Mark Allen? That happened yesterday. Israel, thank you for that. I meant to get it yesterday. Go ahead, real quick.
No, you know it's going to be this usual suspect. I'm glad Charles Thomas just told the front boys. They're going to bring out the front boys. But like you said, they legislating our demise. You wondering why all these murders and stuff happening? We're not getting nothing, brother. They legislating our demise, sir.
Man, I think that we are legislating our demise. Like, it's moments like this when you got these $1 billion projects, and I'm gonna say this, I don't know if it's all construction. I think maybe we got a lot of our eggs in the construction basket and we don't have the people all the time. I'm not saying we don't, but I'm saying we got black accountants. Look, black law firms is all over, white law firms all over these deals. These real estate contracts, there is money, soft money to be made all across the deal, but they're going to give it to 2 or 3 people and say, that's all y'all got, and we don't grow from this.
But there's also something in the construction industry in Chicago, and that's the no snitch rule. They don't call, the brothers who are getting shafted are not calling out those that are getting these kinds of deals.
Check this out. And look, we got a new topic when we come back, but we're going to take this call when we come back because I think we got an answer to what's in it for the black people on this. It's Talk Chicago 1690.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the...
You going to stop talking about where people at? Look, I think we need to raise the shades around here.
Wow.
I want witnesses. We want witnesses.
No, you gonna hit a nigga clean.
Right. No clean shots. Y'all. Save the call. We taking that. Y'all. That one time when it got real on you. Yeah, well, it's been real. Oh, Lord.
A major merger has been green-lighted in federal court. A big blow for President Trump. A federal judge approved AT&T's $85 billion bid to acquire Time Warner with no conditions. The Justice Department sued to stop that deal, but this may open up the floodgates for other media.
Where's my... Come on.
Today, correspondent Tom Busby. Interest rates could go up today. Traders widely expect a quarter point rate.
Larry Huggins is on the line.
They'll be paying close attention to Fed Chair Jerome.
Can I... Hey, somebody go move my car.
Bank might stick with its plan this year or add another hike in December. Stop calling Washington. Wildfires are burning in several states. Correspondent John Lawrence.
Ah, yeah.
Other fires include the Portola Fire in California's Benedict Canyon area and the 416 in Durango, Colorado.
Man, it's gonna be a tough week this week, boy. I think I'm definitely going to Bolingbrook this week. I will be in Bolingbrook. Oh, I probably shouldn't even say that. Whoa! Right, I want to wire the building. I want to do the public affairs. Can I get the public affairs contract? I'm telling you. If I got the public affairs contract, then we could ask what's in it for the black people. I show them how to answer the question. It could be win-win. How is your boy? Ooh. Afrostocracy is woke and ready. Cocked and reloaded. Oh, we get off early today. I forgot today was a short show. I had planned to the end. And what they doing up at 6:30 in the morning? Listening to the WVON morning show. Come on now. Ooh. Times they are a-changing. Mr. Huggins is going to come back next week with his team. Y'all stupid. Wrong way construction. Y'all bogus. Oh my God. I love this show. I'm saying the brother should have shut that piece down. And where the hell Ziff come with that damn Jesse White stuff? Come on. That's played. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Sean J. What up, John Hunt? You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. June is Black History Month, and this is the soundtrack of our lives. Charles, that's You're On My Mind from Car Wash, which is our featured soundtrack today.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
Charles, but speaking of You're On My Mind, this story about the young people, the victims at CPS, I just can't get it off of my mind. But apparently, CPS, Charles, made a decision yesterday to change up how they're going to deal with this betrayed scandal.
Yeah, they're going to let the Inspector General at the Chicago Public Schools, Nick
Schuler,
he is going to conduct an investigation. I really don't, I mean, the Chicago Tribune investigation was certainly comprehensive.
Right.
I guess he's going to confirm their findings. I mean, spend time confirming their findings, because that's really all he needs.
Well, Charles, you know what? Let's ask him right now. He's on the live line. Nick Schuler, the Inspector General for CPS, is on the phone lines. Nick, welcome back to the WVON Morning Show. How are you? Good. Nick, so explain to us what exactly is happening and what does it mean that you are now handling these investigations regarding the sex scandal?
Yeah, so there's two big parts that are happening. One is this, there's going to be this, like you said, the backwards look into what happened. The board has asked us to look back at, to do a review of cases back in 2000. So that's a pretty big look back. And then the other part is that we're going to transition to taking over these cases, the new sexual abuse allegations involving students going forward. So we'll be transitioning over to that quickly, and then so that'll be permanent and ongoing state of affairs on that side, and then and then we'll be doing this backward look piece on the other side too. So
Nick, are you going to be looking at trying to confirm whether or not these incidents happened, or are you going to be looking at systems within the district?
Yeah, I think systems. I think what led to this, were people willfully turning a blind eye? Were people deliberately, pulling punches with investigations? I guess those would be the sorts of things we might look at, and the board, separate from what the Inspector General's office is doing, they've hired an outside firm to look at best practices. So they'll be kind of reviewing the state of affairs of that, and the attorney who's heading that will kind of coordinate with her to see what she has and what she ultimately reports. So I think when all the parts are considered, there will be a pretty comprehensive review being done of the entire handling of these cases, going back quite a ways too.
Nick, just real talk, how does something like this happen in CPS? Just how does it happen?
Yeah, so, we're sort of at an odd state. I mean, we have what the Tribune's reported, and that's really, at this point, all I know. And we're like I said, we're going to be diving into this and reviewing back. So how this happened, I hope to, in the future, have some answers about that, and more importantly, maybe exactly what happened. So, we do have these powerful reports by the Tribune series, and that's sort of our jumping off point, I would say.
People would complain, apparently, or reportedly, and nothing would be done. Are there systems in place that didn't work, or are there systems in place to protect these children?
Honestly, that's what we're looking at. We're just getting into this. It's been a long time. There's been a long, there's been a separation for a long time. I think, as I understand, since the Office of the Inspector General started, that the law department handled these matters, and this was not handled by my office. So, frankly, this is probably long overdue to get into this and figure out what happened. So, honestly, I'm happy to say that the board is having us look into this. I'm glad they're promising to dedicate resources, but we're really just at the beginning of what I know, because at this point we don't know much more beyond what the trip's been reporting.
Will the law department be a target of your investigation?
Well, I think the practices and what happened, and the biggest thing would be is if there are people who still work at CPS who didn't do enough, especially didn't do enough on purpose. Those are things that we would want to look at. We would want to identify those people, make sure they were disciplined or possibly terminated if that were warranted. And the idea is to get the strongest practices in place going forward. What our backwards look will inform what we're doing going forward, and also the separate review that the board is having done through this outside attorney too. So,
Nick, talk to me about, like you said, going forward. When we talk about this situation, is there a marked line between like the past and who holds responsibility for this? Not really trying to cast blame, but does the mayor bear responsibility for this, or who really does this fall on?
I can't, this has been a long time practice. I will say that the separation, the state of affairs has been a long time in the making, from what I can tell. And I know people want answers, and I appreciate that, and I really want to get people answers. I just don't have them at this point. This is so early in the process that this is really our kicking off point. And, we will hopefully be getting answers. We will be getting to the bottom of this as much as possible and reporting on this at some point. But unfortunately, today's just not the day. Today's the beginning of this process.
Nick, you said that they've promised to dedicate resources. Talk to me about what kind of resources you think you're going to need. Like, how many people, how much money, what kind of budget? Because, this is on top of everything else that you got going on.
Yeah, that's true. So, I made it clear to, the board president that there's no way we could take these new tasks on they're asking us to do without more resources. It would shut our office down completely. But what we haven't had any sort of brass tacks discussions about the dollars and the resources this is going to take. So I can only have the loosest ballpark estimates for going forward. I'm envisioning something on the order of 10 people at a minimum. I think that's a conservative small amount. We're going to need investigators. We're going to need some attorney support. There's going to have to be like victim advocate people. We got to make sure that we have people, proper training people for this. We're going to need some procedures. procedures have to be written and put into a handbook. So this is all going to take time. So I think it's going to take a fair amount of effort and a lot of resources. We've just started the process. So honestly, this is what I'm moving to this week, is trying to meet with the people who've been doing this in the law department and figure out where they are, how their day-to-day operations work, the amount of resources they have dedicated to this, and figure out what part of that we can take over, or if we have to hire entirely our own people from the ground up, which might be an option. So honestly, these are all, you're asking excellent questions, but these are the same questions I'm asking.
But Nick, you've got some recent history with the law department. I mean, you're not certainly, perhaps you're viewed as an antagonist over there.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems like you could really, you might have to clean out the law department. I mean, if they were preemptively not investigating these cases, trying to preempt any kind of liability for the district.
Yeah, so I mean, Charles, those are good questions. You've got some big ifs there. So I won't say what I can't answer about ifs.
It's like you against the law department, man. It's like you're like the
nemesis, man.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. I mean, honestly, I don't want it to be perceived that way. I think the value that the Office of the Inspector Generals in general offer is that we are independent. And the idea here is that families and students can have some assurance that, actually complete assurance that the investigations from here on out will be independent, and they won't be being performed by the same people who have to worry about defending against these suits down the road. So that's the biggest piece we can bring to this. Is the independence piece, and we'll make sure we get the right people hired, the right mix of skills to get this done in the right way and get better, and we'll have transparency, and that's sort of what the board is asking for in their letter to me yesterday. They want monthly reporting on information related to these cases. So I think those are very positive developments.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is CPS Inspector General Nick Schuler. He has just gotten the responsibility of taking on this betrayed sex scandal at CPS. Not a lot of answers yet. A lot of stuff to set up, but I want to know, will our kids be safe at the end of this? This is Talk Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Charles Thomas. Charles, we're going to continue this conversation when we come back.
More of the morning show with Maze Jackson coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690
He wants to come back.
WVON.
We didn't want to bounce. So Larry Huggins wants to come back. I think we should just put him at 8 o'clock so we could just have that 8 to 8:20 because he really wants to come on. They told him, get up and get on that show and make sure they know we got some black folks. They hearing y'all. I'll be right back.
Enjoy gospel music, the jazz of Renee Silkman, an unforgettable tribute to blues great Johnny Taylor.
These legs too down.
And headlining the Wintrust Soundstage is Doug E. Fresh. It's Doug E. Fresh and the old school group you chose for this year's festival. It's the Stylistics. The Stylistics. Visit the Children's Pavilion, the Grown Folks Lounge, and our Seniors Pavilion. It's the community's family reunion, Saturday, July 21st at Lorraine Dixon Park. Look, the park is filling up already. Visit WVON.com and click the Taste of WVON banner for more details. Nobody does summer like WVON.
That came from Gone with the Wind.
Oh, that's right.
So
That's right.
it came from Gone with the Wind, so neither one of them
Right,
invented
okay.
it. They just took it.
It was just funny. I laughed out loud when he said
See, and I was that well-rounded, did you?
it. Yeah. No, I didn't know that. I've seen you at the Lyric House.
Sleep. Take a moment, share the broadcast. We back.
Traffic and weather now.
We lost you, but we're back.
Minutes from 95th Street to downtown. Getting to the Rhine along the Grand Curve will take you 25 minutes from I-80-94. Heavy right around 115th Street, then slow all the way in. I-57, a 25-minute trip in from I-80, slow from 119th Street. As you make your way northbound along Lakeshore Drive, expect a 26-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson. 20 minutes. To Stevenson, still an hour from I-355 to the drive.
Yeah, you will get in trouble. You better stop.
Outbound almost 40 minutes. To Eisenhower, heavier, and an hour too. From Florendale to the Janesburg interchange.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey. Right, where do you want it, Brent? Right here, Mace?
Right here.
Right here. Uh-oh. So I think it would be.
Wait, but we still got a segment, bro.
Oh my God!
We didn't finish.
7:30. I'm sorry, Brenda. I came in too early.
All right.
I'm sorry.
We haven't finished.
Let me get a napkin. I'm so sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Focus,
early.
man.
Focus, man.
Early.
It's not that early. We've been started.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
early.
we had the conversation yesterday. The guest was here. I was like, oh, 7:30. I thought. Come on, Dana.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. That, Charles, as we continue Black Music Month, the soundtrack of our lives, that is from The Color Purple. Maybe God is trying to tell you something. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, is God trying to tell the mayor something? Right? Like, hey, man, it seemed like he got problems, man. And Charles, this IG investigation seems like it seemed like, once again, it's a lot of money. Somebody gonna make some money out this.
It's lawyers here this time. And again, remember, it was Nick Schuler's investigation into the CPS law department that led to the resignation of Forrest Claypool as CEO.
Is that the one? I just remember. All I remember is the preacher standing up there saying, "This is a good man."
Right, but the law department was where Forrest Claypool's problems were.
Right. Oh, that's right, because he was passing around.
And Nick Schuler went in there and found out that he was hiring these lawyers to overrule other lawyers, or just until he was getting the answer he wanted, and that led to his demise. And I don't know what the good Reverend Doctor is doing right now.
He probably working at one of them law firms he gave all that money to. What you mean, what he doing? You know how this works, Charles. Charles, come on, man. You've been in the city of Chicago. Right. He was putting his salary over there. Hey, Ty, bring me one of those too. He was putting his salary. You know, I told you, man, a lot of times when you see these law firms get these big old contracts, right, it's the lawyer banking his salary. Before he leaves, he makes his big exit. So I'm sure Forrest put enough money over at one of them old law firms to be straight. So you know what makes me say that too, Charles? Because Nick Schuler is doing all this, but still, CPS hired Maggie to do another investigation from that other law firm. Remember? Because CPS got their own lawyer to look at it. Like I keep telling you, Charles, when these crises happen, white people lick their chops. Right? They be like, yes. Did they mess over the Negroes again? Did they mess up them little black babies again? I've got it. By Job, I've got it. Let's hire another law firm where our friends work, right? And then they spread the wealth around. And once again, the pain and suffering of black people is used for the profitability of white folks.
Yeah, that they get the lawyers and they also get consultants.
Right, you know, they get the consultant, right? You get the consultant. So who's the person? Who you think is the person that's gonna like set up the events?
Well, Mr. Schuler already said that they're gonna need victims advocates. right? They're gonna use
And it
some
don't
other-
make fun of we.
No, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying that there's some other people that are gonna be hired here.
That's the black
Yeah,
jobs.
they're gonna be.
The victim advocates, look, that's $15 an hour. But these other people that's getting hired, right? Because they all went to like they part of the network. I'm telling you, Charles, they're gonna be getting like that $350 billable an hour, right? They're gonna outsource them. See, it's all a racket.
Yep, your kid, man. It's like, yeah. There's a lot of money in those Negroes. Isn't that what they said about 150 years ago? Is there money in Negroes if you know how to keep them?
And you look, and then they got the school set up, right? So they train them in the school to put them in the pipeline, and then, you know, like on 13th, then once they get them in the pipeline, then they get the. You'll see how this works.
I tell you, man. I tell you one thing, man. I bet you when Negroes leaving the city, they're gonna say, man, we got to keep some here. We need some money makers.
Well, see,
so maybe they'll stop the out migration.
Oh God!
After a while, you know.
Now they got some new Negroes. They trying to cultivate this some new.
No.
Yeah, man.
No,
they got new. Look, man. We done got uppity. We done got uppity, bro. We talk back now. Yeah. See, they had beat us in the submission. Now, brother, be like, you want me to pick up what? Man, right? They were like, man, these Negroes have gotten ornery.
They got some new ones.
Right. They gotten ornery. They like, look, man.
They're coming across the border, they got new ones.
Man.
Come on in.
Come on. Look, they leaving. We look, they got whole neighborhoods. Hey, man. You know, Charles, I'm really starting to think that we got to take control of our own destiny, right? Like in this, how do we get a hold of these schools? Because it seems like scandal after scandal after scandal come out. First thing I'm gonna just tell Janice Jackson, and just hear me out loud, Janice Jackson. Do not claim none of that stuff that happened. That ain't your baggage. You better look forward. You better be talking about going forward. Charles, but what happens like what is Mayor Mabel gonna say when he come to like the next community meeting? Where you think he gonna show? Where the next?
I don't think he's gonna go.
Where you think the next place he going? Where you think the next place the mayor gonna go in the black neighborhood?
In the black neighborhood?
Yeah. I bet you people still taking selfies first, though. I bet you they take a selfie first.
There's a couple places he can go.
Well,
he got some spots in Hyde Park. You know,
man.
Ward, over in that area.
Yeah, you know, he been coming over to West Loop, too. He been coming over to West Loop.
West Loop, though,
but there ain't no other brothers over there.
No, ain't
right. No, man.
I'm thinking that Fourth Ward, he's good.
You think he good in the Fourth Ward? Kurt, that's Kurt. You know, Kurt over there still talking about he might run for mayor. Man, you better stop, Kurt. Hey, man, Kurt is a Harvard graduate. He part of the Hyde Park Mafia.
Now here we go.
Okay.
If Baum decides he just can't do it, Kurt's got the hookup.
Kurt with the tribe?
With the tribe, he can get.
No, I think Kurt lost that hookup. I think Kurt got a little froggy during the Laquan McDonald stuff and started talking a little too much, and they kind of, remember then they started taking all this stuff and saying it was rhymes? Remember like the city infrastructure and the $1 million and the conference cup? See, he kind of tore his draws. That's why Charles, you know what, speaking of, I'm not even going to use that analogy because that would have been bad. When we come back, because our children have been at risk in CPS, we're going to talk to actually one of those victim advocates. We are going to be talking to Brenda Myers. Charles, she was trafficked into the sex industry at an early age. Now, I'm not suggesting that these girls that are missing were trafficked, but I do think that one of the things that Alderman Irvin talked about was kind of this dynamic that we ignore in our community that could lead to this. So when we come back,
vulnerability. to these traffickers.
Yes.
That would cause
Right.
young women to disappear.
And I wonder if there's any similarities between the traffickers. Like, do they have any traits that might be similar to these teachers? Are there characteristics that we should be on the lookout for our daughters?
And she can tell us about it.
Yep, and we'll talk about it when we come back, ladies and gentlemen. Brenda Meyer, she'll be back. She's with Dreamcatchers. Talk Chicago 1690.
Back around her story. She tells a riveting story. So I just let her go with her story. What's your story?
Okay. But tell her we want to put it in context of these missing girls.
She got it.
Take a moment, share the broadcast. I know we lost a few of y'all in the process. Hey, Regina Hayes. What up, DeJuan Russell?
Where am I sitting?
We'll put you right here.
Okay.
Mr. Thomas.
Hello, Mr. Thomas. How are you doing today? Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
And Mace Jackson.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Mr. Jackson.
I'm not Mister, I'm just Maze.
Name.
You gotta
No.
be past 50 to be called.
No, Mister, I'm close, but even after that, I'm still, nope, I'm just plain old Maze. Thank you for coming in today.
Not a problem. Should I turn this on?
For the interview, yeah.
Why don't you get her, make sure she's set so that when it comes on, she
Yeah,
don't.
they're too loud or too.
And I speak in here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, gotta work it pretty close, actually.
Done it a little bit, huh, Todd?
You've done it a bit. Can you put this, put them on? I know there's one ear, but is the volume okay? Volume's good. Okay, good. So when you get in, just get close to it, okay?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. We'll be ready in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Oh my God!
One thing I want to, ask you about is that teenagers, they move around, they go to school by themselves, they're ambulatory. They think they can take the train, they can do things. When they don't come home, and how do we, I mean, in terms of, not only from a family standpoint, but also from a law enforcement standpoint, from a media standpoint?
With social media being the way it is today, first of all, there has to be a length of time for someone to be missing for them to say they're missing.
Right.
But when a parent knows that there's a certain time my child should be home, they start to worry. And that's when they should start to worry. And they should start trying to communicate with that child. And social media is a good thing. And if you are abreast in what your child is doing, you know where she goes on to social media.
Let's say.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't have asked.
I got it.
I don't want to put it on the radio.
Okay.
So where do you live? What part of the city you live in? Now, you can take those off right now. What part of the city you live in? Where you live in?
I live in Calumet City. That's
Okay.
where I live.
Okay.
My organization goes all over Chicago, and sometimes we have to go, like, on down by the belt, which is Milwaukee, which they traffic a lot of girls through Milwaukee to Chicago because Wisconsin is a rural area. Their kids want to get out of there,
You know, it's funny. When we talk, not funny, but when we talk about trafficking right now, my thought is always Asians and Latinos. I don't think trafficking for our own people.
Well, we're talking about human trafficking, but on a domestic level. domestically. So Chicago was number 5, and it has risen to number 3. How did that happen?
For what?
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking.
One of the largest hubs in the United States for trafficking.
Is that because it's a nexus?
Absolutely. It's also a point of 2 airports, you know.
How you traffic somebody on an airplane? Like, you can see, how can you traffic somebody?
Okay, when you think of trafficking, you think of something very severe. I'm being beaten up, I'm being pushed around, I'm sitting in the seat, I'm crying, I'm doing all this, but you don't think of what the mainstay of what trafficking is like almost like Stockholm Syndrome, brainwashing. Brainwashing a person into, some of the girls I work with don't even know they're being trafficked. They think that this is a boyfriend or someone that they love deeply because they take a lot of time to get this female or this young boy in order to, because they start them as, they start young. And when you're very influential with young people. Young people are very, you can influence them. You can take a child and they can be,
What if they come from a good home, though?
that doesn't make any difference because coming from a good home is
What if their parents are involved?
doesn't make you insecure, vulnerable, low self-esteem.
Exactly.
All of that still happens. And if there is everything that I could ever have in my world, but I feel not enough love, or maybe in this good home, I got molested. And I'm holding this inside because I don't want to tell about Uncle Steve or Uncle Bob. You know, I don't want to tell anyone that he's been doing this to me because it's shameful. And I may be a cutter, I may be doing all kinds of things, but then I find this guy who says that I'm beautiful. Oh, and he's so interested in me. And nobody understands me but him. Because when I start talking to him, oh my God.
Save it. That's what I want to make sure we hear. Okay. Hold on. We'll be back in a few seconds.
So it's just basically the old pimp game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then
See, they never knew anything about it because they thought that kind of our community only. But they up their game because good snow is what they have. You know what I'm talking about, Becky Snow White? She sells more than anybody.
Really? Yeah, Becky.
If I can have a Becky, I got a money maker because you can sell a bag of dope one time, you can sell a girl over and over.
Oh my God.
Again. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we got the gangs who have gotten a piece of this world also.
The gangs have?
The gangs are, of course, in there. These girls come to them as runaways, and they give them the safety and the protection that they need, and they set them up in a little trap house, and they get taken care of by the gang. So they do their part. They do their part in whatever they need to do, because of course this helps the gang do what? Buy more drugs and get more guns, because they're trafficking these girls off the internet. They're getting paid, you know what I mean? And it's easy money.
Boy, I got 5 granddaughters. That just
makes your stomach turn.
Makes your stomach turn, you know?
We live in a time where our culture doesn't tell a girl to, it does and it doesn't, but the media has a lot to do with it.
Let me ask you a question. You know, I see a lot. I feel like there's also the lifestyle that is almost glorified, right? Like, so when you start thinking about the stripper culture, right, which now is a path, right? And so you see these girls like, I want to be a stripper, or they see it as like college girls that are going and getting into these things. What role do you think that, like, I feel like in part of this is glamorized, like the whole, I feel like part of it is glamorized.
You're answering your questions because when you say glamorized, but by glamorized by who? The media. The media, Love and Hip Hop, all the reality shows that you gotta have the breasts, all the young girls are getting their breasts enhanced at 15 years old. You know what I mean? They're getting their behinds altered. You know, not that a lot of them need it, but they are because they want to be the next Nicki Minaj, or they want to be Cardi B, or because she stepped off the strip. She stepped off the strip floor to being a rapper. This is just like, and we commercialize women today to the point where, you know, we got to sell what? Soap with their titties.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we say?
Okay, we back. We about to come in. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. That is Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul, singing Someday We Will All Be Free. It's the soundtrack of our lives on the WVON morning show. That's right, because June is Black Music Month. Charles, you know, this incident, these incidents of these women being found on the west side of Chicago, I'm still a little ticked off.
They're being lost. They're being disappeared.
Disappearing.
Yeah.
We found one.
Found one. Unfortunately, she was deceased.
Yes, Charles, and it seems like there's no mainstream media coverage. And without the mainstream media coverage, it seems like there's not as many opportunities to warn the community of signs, things that we should be looking for, etc.
Well, I don't know about that, Maze. I mean, I think that with the advent of social media, there are new ways in which to connect with your missing daughter or sisters, friends, and other contacts that maybe folks need to think about as well. And I think that really leads us to our guest this morning.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with us this morning is Brenda Myers Powell. Now, Brenda she runs an organization called Dream Catchers, and she was trafficked into sex at a very early age. You know, I don't know if sex trafficking is 100% involved in what's going on now, but I think that this conversation is relevant. So, Brenda, welcome to the morning show. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking me to come. I'm very passionate about this. So I'm hoping that I can give out some information this morning that'll help our community.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us your story?
Well, my story is like very long, so I can tell you my whole story on the radio. But
give us the abbreviated version.
The abbreviated version. I came up on the west side of Chicago myself, and I was trafficked. Well, basically, it started out with molestation in my home that got me to the place of feeling the low self-esteem, the fact that nobody wanted me, and I was raised by a grandmother who couldn't really, you know, there were some days when she was grandmother and there was some days when she was drinking, you know, and during those days is when I felt the worst. And those were the times that men could get at me. And I grew up with this low self-esteem of not being told I was pretty or all of that. And even when I had my babies at the early age of 14.
You had babies at 14?
14 and 15 years old. I had 2 daughters. That was because the little boys in the neighborhood who told me that I was pretty or told me that I was beautiful and that they loved me, I was okay with that and they could do what they wanted to do because I wanted love. I needed somebody to love me. And I wasn't getting it at home. I didn't feel it at home, so I got it in the streets. And it wasn't right along that time is when we have mentors in our communities. Sometimes we have bad mentors. And I used to hear stuff like, a woman should never be broke as long as she's got this between her legs, or it's a sorry woman who comes home without any money after she's been out with a guy. And those were instructions that were given to little girls like, marry somebody that can take care of you.
The sugar daddy.
Yeah, stop messing with these little boys. Go get you a man.
Women were telling you this?
That's what sponsors, these were women were talking to young girls and telling them how to live. And those type of things went over. And at that time, remember, there was a big black exploitation, a mess of films, and most of them showed black women's bodies and titties, and pimps and hoes they were idolized in the community. When you saw a Cadillac drive up and a girl stepped out with her little short dress and her big fro, that was like, oh my God, I want to be like her. Look how sharp she looks, you know. And that started to be in like our idols, you know. And when there was no money, it was Good Friday, 1973. I went down and stood on Clark and Division in front of the Mark Twain Hotel. And I started to do what I had saw the women do, that I had even read about in Hustler magazine, that I had read about in Iceberg Slim and Pimp, because I had read all those books with Donald Goines. And I went to stand on that corner to get some money for my kids so that we could have a great Easter, right? But I didn't know what I was getting into until I got into the first car. And I cried through the first 3 guys that picked me up. And this excited them more because I was so young. They gave me extra money.
Yeah.
And then when I went home that night, I had $400 in my pocket, more money than I ever saw. And when I brought it home, I handed it to my grandmother, and she never asked me where that money came from. So I continued to do that every weekend until one weekend, 2 pimps kidnapped me. They came behind me, one busted me in the head with a pistol, and the other one put me in the trunk of the car. And they drove me out to a cornfield somewhere in Indiana, and they told me I was under pimp arrest. I never knew anything about this thing called pimp arrest, or, you know, they kept me, for the next couple of days, they kept me in a closet at some little sleazy hotel where everything I did bodily, I did in that closet. And when they let me out, because I was very hungry, and I told them I would do whatever they wanted to do, and they let me out. And I thought if I could just get out that room, that somebody would help me, somebody would come to my rescue, but they were so close on top of me. So I didn't get away at that time, but about 6 months later, it took 6 months of them prostituting me out and getting in it. They only worked me at truck stops for one truck driver to say, what's wrong? Something's wrong here. This is a little girl.
We got to talk about you know what? How does that happen? How do we see it? How do we stop it? We got to have you back for a whole different conversation. Look, this is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson, Charles Thomas. Look, we are talking to Brenda Myers-Powell about getting trafficked into the sex industry. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
So your grandmother, she saw
My grandmother was a good, strong woman, but she was an alcoholic.
Do you think she knew where you got the $400?
No.
She didn't know.
She didn't care.
They didn't care.
All she knows that I brought some money home, right? That wasn't her thinking. Her thinking was maybe I got it from one man. She didn't know what the validity of the situation was, because the reason I know she didn't know is because later on, after I had been prostituting and my pimp came over there and gave her money for the kids and stuff, she asked me one day, she said, I heard a neighbor told me that they saw you on Cicero, where the girls be at. I said, he did. I said, what did you tell the neighbor? She said, I asked his ass, what was he doing up there? I said, good call, Granny, because whatever I was doing up there, he must have been trying to do it with me. And we left it at that. But just before she died, I talked to her about it. And I talked to her about something I never talked about, was the molestation that got me here. And she never knew, because my grandmother would have killed her.
See, talk to me about molestation seems to be an accepted piece of our upbringing that nobody wants to talk about.
Nobody wants to talk about, because it usually involves what they say is a good man. Oh, he's such a good man. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. The family and all that, the men. I was afraid to tell, because I took that and I carried the shame and the guilt that something had to be wrong with me, that a good man would do that to me.
How did it start? I mean, how did it start? Because I be thinking about, you can't sit on, my daughter, you can't sit on nobody's lap. Don't you take no damn money from no damn body. I don't want you. Look, ain't no hugs. And I love my family, but it don't even be I be like, yo, daddy.
Molesters are so cunning, just like predators. They're so good at what they do. They know the vulnerability of the home and the child, and they take that and they use that. They knew my grandmother liked to drink. They brought big bottles of liquor in the house. I knew when the big bag came in what was going to jump off. And they would sit up there and they would drink it almost down. And then they said, ooh, we running out. You need to go get another one. Go, Ruth, go and run to the corner store and get something for us. Okay, baby, I'll be right back. Regine, don't open the door, you know. But I'm in there with the beast. You know, and he set this up for this to happen.
How old are
He
you
knows
now?
I'm 8 and 9 years
Oh,
old.
yeah.
The first time I remember I was 4 or 5 years old when it first happened. And it was a piggyback ride from a person that was supposed to be really good with the family. My grandmother told me not to get on nobody's lap and stop that, right? But he said, come on, get a horsey ride. I'm a baby. I wanted to do that, you know what I'm saying? And he fondled me, you know, hey, they know. And it seems they're very kind and they're very good at it, okay? Because they sit and watch the dynamics of what's going on in that family. The one who was molesting me in the home while I was supposed to be a relative, you know, he knew just how to do that, you know. He saw me do a couple of things and he threatened me. He said, you know, if I tell your auntie, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. And the next thing I knew, he was sleeping on the couch because I slept on the floor on a pallet. There wasn't enough room for me. And he was sleeping until like he fell asleep on the couch. And then at night, he would slide down and I would stiffen up. And hold my body as tight as I could so he couldn't, you know. And he would get on me and just do grind and all kinds of stuff like that. And I was very afraid. He'd be saying, you could smell the liquor on his breath. And I was like, shh. He said, shut up. Shh, don't say nothing. You know. And then he got to the point where telling me he was controlling me, like telling me, Amy ain't gonna believe you anyway. You know.
So let me ask you a question, because you know, a lot of times I hear, talk to me about fast girls, right? When people always talk about these fast girls that are out here acting crazy, doing, right? Because we put people in fast girl category and then we dismiss them.
That was what happened. My uncle knew that I was called a fast-ass little girl. You know? And I felt that I internalized that. And that's why I felt guilty about it, because I was fast. What was I fast with? Because I jumped rope. I maybe had on some shorts that was too little. You know what I'm saying? That's a little fast girl. Because I'm a little bit, you know, I got a little character more than the next girl. You know, I say a little bit more. But I wasn't fast. I was just feisty.
Come on. You are listening to the Talk of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Charles Thomas in the building. Y'all know I'm usually on 20. But I'm going to tell you, I've been a little bit deflated today. We are talking to Brenda Myers Powell. She was trafficked into the sex industry at a very young age. And as we're sitting here talking about this, Charles, I'm having just chills go through my body,
and,
man.
You know, we're talking to Brenda in the context of 4 young women, teenage girls, missing on the west side. One of them, unfortunately, found deceased. The difference between, I mean, you were abducted, you explained, but there are also this phenomenon of runaway teenage girls who can run into sex trafficking, but
Well,
how do we know when they've run away, when they've been abducted? Are there any signs?
and you say that like it makes a difference. It really doesn't make a difference. Now, if a young girl is out past 12 o'clock at night, predators, traffickers are looking for that girl. They know there's something wrong with this picture, because this little young girl is out at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. She's open season for him, because this is what he's looking for, a vulnerable young girl that has some type of situation where she's out at 1 or 2 o'clock. You know, I did this research with DePaul University where I interviewed 40 pimps, and the information that came out of there is that they said, if you don't take your daughter to school, I'll pick her up. If you don't take your daughter, pick her up from the mall, or take her to the mall, I'll be there to pick her up. In other words, they're telling you, any loophole that you leave open for them, that's where they're gonna come in and get your daughter.
We gotta have a longer conversation. But let me just start, because fathers, you need to hear this. Family, you need to hear this. Couple things that you brought up. One, you talked about molestation in the home of people that you knew or family members, which they were good men. So I want you to talk about that, and fast little girls who we've described as fast little girls, and how that plays into this.
First of all, a child coming here as a child, and she's innocent. So what makes her fast? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. Instead of labeling her a fast little girl, you should try to find out what made her become this sexual looking person, and what's going on that she's acting out like that. Because clearly she didn't learn that by herself. Someone taught that to her. So when you're talking about a little fast girl, and then you may be talking about a little girl who just may be like, hey, have a lot of character and energy, but she's still vulnerable for a predator or a molester or a trafficker, because she has actions that some men seem to look at as sexual, instead of trying to help correct her. So when you say these little fast girls and you get to call them that, they start to feeling like that on the inside. And it's not a great feeling. It's a feeling of low self-esteem. I remember I'm hearing that all the time. You fast tail little girls. So when I got molested, of course, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I've been called a fast tail little girl. If I go to somebody for help, they're going to blame me, because remember, I'm a fast tail little girl. I wasn't taken upon as saying, she just needs some redirection, and I need to find out what's going on with her. See, this connection that mothers and fathers need to have with their children, this open line of communication, instead of stifling them to not be able to say what they can say, especially when they're in a dire situation such as what we're talking about now, this emergency situation, when there needs to be some communication, to go in the room and say, Daddy, Uncle Bobby touched me. Well, what you mean Uncle Bobby touched you? He did this. And instead of you saying, oh, I don't believe that, no, Bobby wouldn't do that, you say immediately,
let's go kill Bobby.
Yes.
Let's go kill Bobby.
First, baby, are you all right?
Baby, you straight? Because Daddy is about to go kill Uncle Bobby right now. And then she knows. You know, this phenomenon of the sugar daddy that is promoted in our neighborhood, in black communities, is that a real thing?
It's a real thing, and it's a sad thing, because wait a minute, we have a welfare in our community that has been supporting, generationally passed down, to girls, women, and they've been dependent on that for their survival, right? Well, it's been like cut, okay? Now, and I've heard this on different radio stations where they say, if you're not getting your child support payments, is it hard to make it, is your job minimum wage? They have an advertisement for a strip club, okay? They have subliminal messages, sometimes on the AL, not a lot of times in English, but in Hispanic, where a girl can call this number and get a job as an underground escort. Escorts are advertising in other languages.
You know what? I gotta stop you right here. I'm making the executive call. We keeping you over the break. Charles, we gotta continue this conversation after we get back. News, traffic, and weather is next. It's the Talk Chicago 1690 AM.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is
Come on, talk to me more about So, go ahead, finish on the sugar daddy piece.
So, we are talking about having someone to take care of you. Remember, I told you when I was a young girl, they said, Brenda, don't mess with no young boys. Get you an older man that can take care of you. My dream was to marry or to get like a bus driver. They made good money back then, right? CTA made great money, so I need a bus driver, right? Mm-hmm. And I got one. He got me pregnant with my second daughter. I never saw him again. Okay, but these are the type of things and that older women were telling you. But remember, at that time, domestic violence was up here, right? And women were being beaten up. In fact, me and my girlfriend used to sit on the fire escape to see who was gonna get beat up first. That's the kind of stuff we did as children. And we knew that somebody was gonna get whooped when they started to drinking, right? And then the police would come, or maybe the ambulance, and then the next morning, that same woman would be back on the porch, cooking her man breakfast, grinning and skinning and laughing. It's my baby, y'all. You know, and you say, you just beat her down. You know, is this the way it's supposed to be? My grandmother said one day, if you don't get better, if you don't get right, and she was talking about cooking, cleaning, and stuff like that, she said, your man gonna whoop your ass. And I'm saying, like, why?
Dang, so you mean to tell me it was a penalty for not cooking, cleaning? I'm just playing.
So I grew up to think
you're supposed to get a whooping anyway.
Get a whooping from your man. So we grow up in our communities, again, we're still seeing that type of thing. Girls are taking that on as a part of love. Your man does beat you up. So when you get with a pimp, when you get with a trafficker, and he lays his hands on you, it's kind of like part of that. He wouldn't do it if he didn't love you. So you take that in because you've had bad mentors, you've had bad sponsors, and they don't think they're a part of this. But everything that we do with our girls, all the empowerment that we don't give them, every day we don't say we love you, and we'll always be there for you and believe you, and no matter what you do, you can come home to daddy, you can come home to mama. It's a day that another person can get in and pull your baby away.
Do Jungle Love.
Because that's all they want.
Morris Day at the time.
That's all they want. That's all they want. That's all I ever wanted, was to be loved. Do you know, I wish I knew that's what was
trying to think, yeah,
so,
all right.
Let me ask you though.
Purple Rain.
How?
Yeah.
So what if they don't respond to it like that?
Okay.
Like your kids. So how do these 16-year-old girls wind up with this 22-year-old man?
Well, because that's...
Like, when don't they say this is wrong? Like...
Well, back in the day, it was okay. Remember, a young woman could get with an older man and stay with him if you really hear the stories about how old some of the women were when they started having babies, but they were hooked up. You know, the South had a lot of that kind of action going on. Okay, they came up from the South with that type of mentality. They passed it on now today as a point of survival. It's not so much these girls are falling in love. They're not. They're trying to survive, because if the welfare, then listen, we got daddies in the. Most of our black men are in the system. They're incarcerated, right? And now women are increased 120% in the Cook County system, right?
Talk to the camera. No, I'm saying talk to the camera. You got people
in the
watching.
Cook County system now, right? I just retired from Cook County Sheriff's Department. Women are 120% increasement. So that means moms are going to jail. And if the moms are going to jail, who's at home taking care of babies? Okay? That leaves what? That leaves my daughter, who's young. They're to take care of the babies while I'm in jail for 90 days or 6 months or whatever they're holding me for, right? Because usually it's just something like shoplifting or anything like that, some stuff like that. So who's taking care of the babies? The kids are taking care of the babies. They're becoming adults before their time, or they have to fend for themselves, and they have to decide, how am I going to get my meal? Now, I can get a meal in school, but after I get out of school, how am I going to eat? How do I get soap? How do I wash my clothes? But the baller on the corner, who see little mama passing by every day, and she develop it, he let her know. If you need something, little mama, let me know.
You know, I know a friend, actually a family member, a girl who told me that she developed early, like 12 years old, and she was like 5'9". She looked like a grown woman at 12 years old, and everybody on the block used to treat her like she was grown, and they all would be like, get her to the crib, and then all the fellas would get on her and do all type of stuff, and she was like, man, What do I do? How do I this is
Mentally, she's not developed.
right.
So she doesn't know how to say no, handle this.
Yes.
This is something else that's coming on her that she's trying to deal with, and she got to deal with it
Okay.
the best way she can.
Okay.
Check that out. And these guys nowadays that offer girls a glamorous lifestyle, so they can get the best shoes and the best, gym shoes and the gear. They just want to feel different. They want to feel special. Are we back?
Not yet.
Okay, so when we keep on asking how is this happening, it's a breakdown of our family system. That girls are being so vulnerable, so led into this, and now we have a new era of internet.
Time out. He's about to go. We back. Hold on. Go ahead. I've been watching you. I think I wanna know ya. Say I'm so dangerous. I want to show ya my jungle love. Oh. I think I wanna know ya.
Hey, remember during the Prince classic, Purple Rain, when Morris Day and the Times stole the show for several minutes during that film with the cut Jungle Love. That's My Choice, brought to you by Next Level Health, serving Medicaid participants in Cook County with managed long-term services, care, and support. Next Level Health, the only Black-owned company in the game in Cook County.
Oh, we could have let that ride. Hey, do you do yoga? Let's see what you got. You got some yoga? You do yoga at all?
A little bit.
Let me see what you got.
A little bit.
Y'all ready? I'm about to knock this sucker out the park. Boom. Y'all know how we do. There goes some yoga. Flex. Crown on my head, but the world on my shoulder. You are tuned in to the top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Charles Thomas, in the building. But y'all know how we do at 8 o'clock every day. Ugh. Woo, gotta get that stretch on. Now, you also know how we do at the top of every hour. Gotta say what's up to the WVON morning show team. What's up, Annette Flournoy in the newsroom? Annette, I'm feeling some kind of way right now with this conversation. I'm just feeling some kind of way. Plus, we got Miss Sonia Escobar. She is the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. My man, Charles Thomas. Charles, but Brenda is telling us the story. I felt like we had to, we was going to kill this, but we got to keep on going.
One thing I'm asking, the role of social media today, not only, I said earlier that it might give families another way to keep track of their young women and girls, but isn't this a new way for the predators to come at the young girls?
Absolutely, Charles, and you know that because just a few months ago, I did some work with Commander Bill Lee for the Cook County Sheriff's Office, and he informed me that predators and traffickers were getting through to young girls through the games. You know, the online games. They start building relationships with them online and then start to work with them and get them to meet them in places, you know, because they start to get a relationship with them on there. And kids are kids. And someone is posing as a kid, they want to be interested, they're interested in, and they want to meet them, you know, because this is how we are as human beings. But if we're not monitored, they can get your kids.
And you know what, Brenda, I think it's important that we talk about that because in the social media realm, we tend to think of Facebook and Twitter, right? We think of the traditional ones, but wherever we are, the kids go somewhere else, right? So there's all these other social media sites. You know, Carrie and I were on a plane one day coming back, and we saw a guy sitting next to a young lady, and the parents were distracted, right? The kid threw up. And we're listening, and he's having a conversation with the other kid that's by themselves. And all of a sudden, he says, "Do you Snapchat?" And he asks her, "Does she Snapchat?" And they trade, and she's like, "Yes." And so they trade information. And Carrie and I'm listening like, wait, he's grown. She's a kid. They're having this conversation. And he asks her, "Does she Snapchat?" And Snapchat disappears. So you send the message, you say whatever. He said, "Do you do?" And then he starts asking, "Do your parents look at your Snapchat?" And so I'm literally like, "Hey, and literally we both, because I didn't know what to do. I was like, "Is this really happening?" And you're hearing, and the parents, the kid in the front, she can't hear in her headphones, but the kids in the parents were trying to catch the other kid who was throwing up, and it all happened within like 10 minutes. And I was like, "Hey, dude. This dude just got your daughter Snapchat," and it was that quick. And he was talking to her from after this. How do we know what we're looking at? Because you don't want to believe that it's really happening.
Well, you got to believe it.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, you got to believe it because it is happening. And even if you make a mistake, that's a mistake. That's a good mistake that you should make and to try to direct and check whatever you need to. Let me go back just a bit to give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to Brenda Myers-Powell. She's with Dreamcatchers. We're talking about trafficking of our young girls.
Okay, we have a thing called the Cinderella syndrome, right? You know what that is.
No, what is it?
It went from Cinderella to Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look at a housewife.
Oh yeah, because let me tell you, all my life, as my dream was to find that guy who was going to take me away from all of that and keep me and make me happy. And if I had to go through all the men that I went through, I thought that one day I would find it because I was beautiful. I could do this, you know what I'm saying? I could find someone to be a kept woman because I needed Prince Charming. I needed that guy to make me feel better and didn't know that I had everything inside of me all the time. I was Dorothy in Oz trying to find the yellow brick road, but I didn't find it because of the stories you get told as a little girl. And they still make those stories seem beautiful because they tell girls to marry up. Marry
like
well.
Meghan Markle and all this stuff.
They didn't say marry for love, marry after you got your education and you can deal with things and you're doing that. They say marry well, marry somebody with something, as if that made a difference in your happiness and in your life, which doesn't at all. So when we tell our girls something, they get that financial piece inside their head to think that I got to get money if I want to do something good about myself, and forget education, forget all the other things, forget morals, just get a man with money.
Brenda, but what if you consider yourself a good parent? Mm-hmm. A good mom, dad, you're involved in your kid's life. Can they be trafficked? Can they get got?
They can be trafficked, but if you're a good mom and a good dad, how long are you going to allow your child to be out there without putting everything behind her and in front of her and getting her all the help that you can for her to get out of this situation? Those are the parents that come to me who are ready to go through whatever it takes to get their baby back, you know? And if there was love when it started, love will bring her back. You
Man.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a hopeless case.
Can anybody be a victim?
Anybody can be a victim, but we're talking about youth especially being a victim. At my organization, the average age of entry for girls in human trafficking is 14 and 15 years old. We start at 12.
Huh?
We start at 12. We have girls who come to us pros at 12 years old.
What about the role of the father in terms of protecting his daughter?
It's a real important role. Let me give you an example. My husband, our daughters just didn't have a boyfriend unless he met them. I mean, we have a daughter who is, she's old enough, she's got her associates and everything, she lives on her own, but he has to meet that man. He says, and let me tell you why I want to meet that man. He said, I want that man to know that there's somebody that cares enough about you to come get him if he do anything wrong.
Mamas.
With so many young girls growing up without their fathers.
They don't have the father, or they have a rotten father who isn't concerned, listen to me, I know this, who isn't concerned, and maybe more, how do I say, by the guy, because the guy may have a lot of money and he sees this as a good opportunity. He can take care of, as long as he take care of. Why is she fussing?
Sort of like when you marry an NBA player.
If she hits you, if he hits you, what you did wrong, dads like that. Okay, but when we got strong fathers, when we got fathers who don't take no mess about their kids, that sets a prevalence. That sets a strong prevalence. And moms too. I've always had an open relationship with my kids where they can come and tell me anything, because when I'm talking to them, I don't talk to them maybe in the same verbiage I would an adult, but I talk to them where they can understand that I'm here for whatever it is, and you can tell me anything. And so far, it's been a great relationship. Not all relationships are like that. Not all my relationships are like a success with the girls that I work with out there. I lose a few, but a few, because once you put in, you're gonna get out what you put in. And what I put in is I'm available 24/7, just like a parent. You can come and tell me anything, because if you 9 out of 10, if you tell me, I done been through it already twice, so don't get embarrassed, because I done already done it. Okay? It can get real greasy too. And girls don't know what to tell. I had a girl tell me, my young girl.
Okay.
She said, in
Go ahead.
junior high.
Go ahead. You can
She
tell.
says, a boy asked me to do something up under the steps with him. And with my mouth, and I said, did you do it? She said, well, I wanted him to like me. I said, well, that doesn't make you a bad girl. That makes you confused. But let me tell you, I don't want you to do that anymore, and I want you to think about it before you do it again. Let's talk about it before you do it again. So when he asked her again, she came back and she talked to me. I said, listen, the first time he did it, blah, blah, blah. We went through a whole scenario, right? But the fact that she came back and said, Miss Brenda, can I talk to you about it? Because I said, and do you want to do it? She said, yeah, I want to do it because I like him. I said, that's not what you do with boys. Boys that like you don't tell you to do that.
So let me ask you a question. How do we, because, I feel like so many of our girls that are thrown away. They've made mistakes early, and then we cash them out.
Yes.
How do we reclaim our young people that may have had challenges in the past?
You know what? It takes a village to raise a child, and we have to get our village back. When I was at the end of my road from this, from 25 years in prostitution, trapped first. In that time, I got shot 5 times. I've been stabbed over 13 times. I've been put in trunks twice. Things that happened to me, I've lost my face at the end of the road. The last customer tore all the skin off my face by dragging me with their car. And the only thing I have to turn to is God, right? but it was a community of people that started stepping up for me, to give me and help me regain my value. You know, it was people for no reason, unconditional, that started being a part of, you know, my life and helping me. That's why I'm talking about a village around me. And I need a village around these girls. I need men around these girls that are not trying to go with them, are not trying to, you know, be sexual with them, but are trying to present themselves as men, as opening doors for them, you know, pulling out their chairs, showing them what men do for women. Those are the type of mentors that I have. I have mentors that show up, white, black, green, Mexican, and they say, we love you because we love you. And we want to do this for you because we know that you can be better. So you have to put another village around these girls in order to bring them back.
We're running out of time, but you've got to tell us, how do you make contact with the Dreamcatcher Foundation?
Dreamcatcher Foundation is 24/7, and we have a 800 number, 1844 We Dream. 1844 We Dream is our number. That's, you can get that number. You don't have to pay a dime. You can just pick up the number, and it's a toll-free number, 1844 We Dream. And you can also go on our website, thedreamcatcherfoundation.org. Thedreamcatcherfoundation.org. And if there's a young lady out there right now and she needs some help, we will come to you. We will come to you and get you. We will come right into the belly of the beast, baby. You don't have to come to us. We will come to you. We're out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, from 11 o'clock to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Longer if when you see our van, says the Dreamcatcher Foundation. We give out toiletries, we give out water, we give out McDonald's cards.
No judgment.
No judgment, no judgment, baby. I'm gonna hug you and ask you how you doing and what can I do for you. Man, check this out. It's not in my time, it's in God's time. And guess what? We hope that we know that God is out there for you, and He's going to make sure that you come to the Dreamcatcher Foundation so you can get the support, the love, the referrals, and everything that you need. Unjudgmental. How can I judge you unless I judge me?
Brothers and sisters, and let me speak to my brothers real quick, because I know we got some sisters, and it's Father's Day is coming up this week, but we got a responsibility to protect our women. We got a responsibility. You see it, you know better. We got to start dealing with it. We can't just continue to put our heads in the sand. And we got to make sure that we raise good men, right? Fathers. And you know what? We got to start bringing back the respect to our sisters as far as showing our young girls what it is, that it ain't, hey, baby, 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 and hey, mama, 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 and really, sister, we love you. Charles, you got anything before we get up out of here?
It's just that it's so inspiring to know that the work you do, and you know, your message. And I would hope that anyone who needs this kind of help will contact the Dreamcatcher Foundation to know that you're out there doing this. Because I have 5 granddaughters, man, and it's frightening.
I just want the community to know, those young ladies that are missing out there, it's not just the police job to look for them. Y'all look for them, because the Dreamcatcher Foundation is looking for them babies.
And you know what? We want to find it. Y'all find the babies. We want to catch the dude.
We want to find our own, okay? Because every time I go to the police, they say, well, we got all these guns. We can't really go put a whole lot into that. So they're not really looking for girls like us, but we do.
We cannot throw our black women away. They are valuable. We got to give them a chance to develop. Look.
Thank you.
For Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. For Miss Sonia Escobar, she is the musical conductor of the Soul Plane. For Charles Thomas, for Brenda Myers-Powell in the Dreamcatchers, I am the host of the WVON Morning Show. Who's that young man standing in the window looking at me? Is that your son?
That's my grandson, Jason.
Jason, we proud of you too, man. Hey, and if they don't like it, you can still tell them. May said, we out of here. Peace.
Honey, give me some love, baby girl.
Hey, baby girl.
Thank you
Great,
so much.
great conversation in here early this morning.
What'd you say?
Woo,
What'd you say? May's
So
crazy. And he said, what?
Here's what I love what you said. Hey, Charles. Fast-ass girls. The fast-ass girls.
Stop playing. Fast-ass girls. We throw them
I
away.
was never called that no girls in our family. But guess what? When we have family, the grown-ups was in the grown-ups area. The
Under
kids
information.
in the
Daughters.
kids area,
Knows
with
where
the
she's
kids.
at.
Stay out of our business.
Okay.
Just,
So
it's
guess
just,
what?
you know,
That
you get out that
separation
phone
was
call and
already
it's like
there.
punch in the gut.
They don't see
You
us,
know what I
we don't
mean?
see
I
them.
just wanted to
And when
put
it's
the other
time to
man,
go
you know?
home, it's time to go home. But then you have the relatives that are already strong and powerful, and they bring that
So Larry is gonna bring whole team in,
to their men. So their men don't even talk
not
to
next
us
week, the
like
following
that.
week.
Okay.
4 or
They're
5
already
people.
trying to
Okay.
raise us as
The week
if
of the
we were
25th.
their uncle.
Okay.
But I
So I
have
got
friends
two
who
emails
told
last
me
night.
Uncle raped me or molested me. It was
One
more
was the,
cousins,
like
boys.
their
It was
Dyson,
no
I know it's
brothers
Neil's
and
working on
sisters.
it.
It was
The
no-
other email too
I was
about,
just sitting back like, that's normal? Why do y'all think
trying to get
that's
something
normal?
going with.
You know, it's the uncle that, you know, he always have a little drink on his breath. But listen, every time you come over, hey, Doug, let me give you $1. You know, give me $1. He's always giving us money and stuff like that. That's the
friend.
Yeah, that's the one that's coming up on it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I can tell you about so many different ways in the predators. We just didn't have enough time.
You know what you gonna you know what? Actually, I do a podcast, and everybody is like, man, could we just do an hour and just go through it? So we gonna Todd, make sure I get her information. We'll get on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, can I tell you your story? It was powerful, and thank you so much. Go ahead.
You had wonderful information. If nobody grabbed that information, I have no idea.
Thank you.
And you have to go on
And
this
I'm serious
podcast.
about the
That is
community
so
finding those
serious.
kids because they can. Because see, somebody in the community knows somebody that knows somebody. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody saw something. Somebody know who it is.
You know what the
You know
cops
what I mean?
told us? When we did the missing girl thing, the cops told us that we got it wrong. The community got it wrong. There are no serial kidnappers or
Rapist.
How bad do it have to
Something like
get?
that. This is
Does
what
it have to
the
get like
cops
Gary,
said.
Indiana?
You-
Does it have to
you
get
gotta
like
kill-
the South Side?